Fire, don't blink. These top 4 Ultra Rare USA coins could be hiding in your pocket change. From mysterious mint errors to historic misprints, these coins have sold for hundreds of thousands, even millions. Stick around as we uncover their mind-blowing value and untold history. This is your treasure hunt, Money Bag United States.
Background and history. Let's rewind the clock to 1953. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president, the Korean War had just ended, and America was booming with post-war energy. But in the Denver Mint, one of the 3 major U.S. mints at the time, something special was struck into circulation, the 1953 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny. Now, on the surface, this coin doesn't look all that special. It carries the famous wheat reverse design, with Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. The D mint mark under the date stands for Denver, where more than 700 million of these pennies were minted, specifically 700,515,000, making it one of the higher mintage pennies of the decade. So why are some of these worth hundreds, thousands, and even up to $100,000 plus? Simple, error coins, condition, and rare varieties. Brain, why this coin is so valuable. While most 1953 D wheat pennies are only worth a few cents to a couple of dollars, rare error versions and high-grade specimens can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. And in some cases, 6 figures at major auctions. Let's break it down. Collision 1. Mint errors that are worth big money. Some of the most valuable 1953 D wheat pennies have dramatic and rare mint errors. These include white heavy checkmark double die obverse, DDO. This occurs when the die strikes the coin twice but slightly misaligned, creating a noticeable doubling effect on the date or lettering like Liberty and In God We Trust. Value, depending on condition, a DDO 1953 D penny can fetch $500 to $10,000 plus. White heavy checkmark repunched mint mark RPM. Some 1953 D pennies show signs of a D being stamped more than once, slightly off position. This RPM error is popular among collectors and appears clearly under magnification. Value, RPM varieties can sell for $100 to $1,500 plus depending on sharpness and grade. White heavy checkmark off-center strikes. Coins that were not properly centered when struck show part of the design missing or shifted. Value, a 1953 D off-center wheat penny, 30% to 50% off. Can sell for $500 to $5,000, especially in mint state. White heavy checkmark BIE die break. A die crack between the B and E in Liberty creates what looks like a capital I, nicknamed the BIE error. These are fun to collect and valuable in high grades. Value, can reach $50 to $500 plus depending on clarity and condition. Gemstone 2. Condition is king, mint state and red coins bring fortune. Coin collectors grade coins on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. Most wheat pennies in circulation are circulated, meaning they have scratches, wear, and dullness. But if you find a 1953 D wheat penny in mint state, MS65 to MS67, with original red color, RD, from the copper not oxidizing, now that's a different story. MS65 red, worth up to $1,000 to $2,500. MS66 red, worth $5,000 to $15,000. MS67 red, auction records show sales up to $30,000 to $50,000 plus. And if one day, a perfect MS68 red 1953 D penny is discovered, its value could break $100,000 plus at auction because of the extreme rarity of such perfection. How to identify a rare 1953 D penny. Here's what to look for at home or in your coin collection. Check the date and mint mark, make sure it's a 1953 D, with the D below the year. Use a magnifying glass, look for doubling in the date or letters. Inspect the mint mark, is it punched more than once? That could be an RPM. Notice the color. Brown, BN less valuable. Red-brown, RB more desirable. Full red, RD most valuable. Look for die breaks, especially the BIE between B and E in Liberty. Check for off-center strikes or other errors. Chart increasing auction records that shocked collectors. Let's talk real money. In 2021, a 1953 D-Week penny-graded MS-67 Plus read by PCGS sold for $24,000 at Heritage Auctions. A rare RPM error in MS condition was privately sold for over $7,500. A major off-center strike penny in mint state was estimated at over $10,000 at auction. Now imagine if one of these rare errors was found in perfect red condition. We could be talking about a six-figure coin. Toolbox tips for selling or collecting. If you think you've got one of these valuable 1953 D-Week pennies, don't rush to sell it at a pawn shop. Here's what to do. Handle with care, use cotton gloves to avoid damaging the surface. Store properly, keep in a coin flip or plastic holder. Get it graded, send it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. A high grade can skyrocket the value. Check auctions, look at recent sales on eBay, Heritage Auctions, or Great Collections. Consult coin experts, join coin forums or Facebook collector groups for feedback. Party popper conclusion, a penny that could make you a fortune. So, the next time you find a 1953 D-Week penny, don't toss it aside or spend it without checking it closely. What seems like a common cent might actually be worth $10,000, $50,000, or even over $100,000. These coins are hiding in jars, drawers, and old collections around the world, waiting to be discovered. So here's your mission. Dig out those old coins, grab a magnifier, and start treasure hunting. Your $1,000,000 moment might be just a penny away. Loudspeaker call to action. Speech balloon found a 1953 D penny. Comment below, let's see who's got a winner. Pushpin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon for more exciting videos on rare and valuable coins. Movie camera, follow us on Old Chiller Coin 4, where we turn pocket change into gold. Asterisk. Would you like the title, tags, description, and hashtags to go with this video script?
Let's go back to the year 1966, a time when America was undergoing rapid social change. The Vietnam War, civil rights movements, and major shifts in culture and economy defined this era. And in the middle of it all, the U.S. Mint was quietly rolling out millions of Washington quarters, unaware that some of them would become numismatic gold mines decades later. The 1966 quarter is part of the clad era, following the end of 90% silver coinage in 1964. Due to a national coin shortage and rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint replaced silver quarters with copper-nickel clad coins starting in 1965. So by 1966, these new quarters were in full production. Lightbulb, what's unique about 1966? For one, there were no mint marks used on coins from 1965 through 1967. That means no P, no D, no S, nothing. The mint removed them temporarily to discourage collectors from hoarding coins during the coin shortage. Chart increasing, over 821 million quarters were produced in 1966. That sounds like a lot. But what's rare isn't the quantity. It's the hidden errors and special varieties that make certain 1,966 quarters worth tens of thousands, or even more than $100,000. Now, here's where it gets exciting. Most 1966 quarters are worth face value. But some are worth more than a luxury car, or even a house. Let's break down the types of rare and valuable 1966 Washington quarters you should be hunting for. Fire 1. 1966 quarter struck on a silver planchet, wrong planchet error. This is the holy grail of 1966 quarters. Exclamation mark. During the transition from silver to clad coinage, a few silver planchets accidentally remained in the minting machines. That means some 1966 quarters were struck on 90% silver blanks, instead of the standard copper-nickel ones. Gemstone, one such 1966 quarter, weighing around 6.25 grams instead of the usual 5.67 grams, was authenticated and sold for a staggering $21,600 at auction. And if it's in mint state, with no scratches or circulation damage. Experts believe it could command $50,000 to over $100,000 in a top-tier auction. Direct hit tip: use a digital scale. A real silver error will weigh noticeably more than a regular clad coin. Fire 2. 1966 quarter with double die obverse, DDO. This is another wild one. A double die occurs when the coin's design is stamped twice during minting, resulting in visible doubling on elements like the date, 1966. The motto, "In God We Trust." Or Liberty. Magnifying glass tilted right. Look closely with a magnifying glass. A strong DDO can skyrocket in value, especially in high-grade condition. White heavy checkmark. A well-preserved DDO 1966 quarter can sell for $3,000 to $15,000, and in mint state 65 or higher, it can even push $25,000 plus. Fire 3. Off-center strikes. Ever seen a quarter where the design is way off-center? Cyclone. That's a mint striking error, and it makes the coin extremely collectible. The more off-center, especially 50% or more, the more valuable it becomes. Money bag. Off-center 1966 quarters have sold for $500 to $2,000, depending on severity and condition. Fire 4. Clipped planchet errors. If your 1966 quarter is missing a chunk, like it has a bite taken out of it, it might be a clipped planchet error. High voltage. Some of these have sold for $300 to $1,500. If it also has other errors, like doubling, its value increases significantly. Fire 5. Transitional errors, experimental planchets. There are rumors and a few verifiable cases of 1966 quarters struck on experimental planchets, possibly left over from test runs or transitional metals. These are extremely rare, and values are speculative but believed to be $50,000 plus in high grade. Now let's talk big money. Here are a few real sales of 1966 quarters that stunned collectors. Money with Wings. A 1966 quarter on a silver planchet, sold for $21,600. Money with Wings high-grade 1966 MS68 quarter, sold for $4,113. Money with Wings double die obverse quarter, up to $15,000. Money with Wings off-center 1966 quarter, sold for $1,700. Money with Wings clipped planchet with DDO, sold for over $2,500. Firecracker. And experts believe we haven't seen the highest sale yet. A perfectly preserved silver planchet 1966 quarter with a strong DDO could bring in $100,000 to $150,000 in a competitive auction. So how can you spot one of these gems? Magnifying glass tilted left. Step 1, weigh it. A normal clad quarter weighs 5.67 g. If it's 6.25 g, it might be silver. Magnifying glass tilted left. Step 2, look for doubling. Check the date and letters for signs of DDO. Magnifying glass tilted left. Step 3, check edges. A silver quarter will have no copper color on the edge. Magnifying glass tilted left. Step 4, look for errors. Off-center designs, clipped edges, cracks, or unusual surfaces are all red flags for rare mint errors. Wrapped gift. You never know, your next coin roll hunt or estate sale find could change everything. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the beloved Buffalo nickel. It features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by artist Felix Schlag, and Jefferson's home, Monticello, on the reverse. Over the decades, the Jefferson nickel has become one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. But within that long run, there have been a few years, like 1990, that hold surprises few collectors expected. While the coin itself may look common, minting mistakes and error strikes have made some 1990 D Jefferson nickels worth more than their weight in silver or gold. So what makes the 1990 D nickel so rare? Let's break it down. The Denver Mint produced over 565 million nickels in 1990. Most of them are still worth just 5 cents, but a few rare error coins escaped into circulation, and those few are where the value lies. Collectors are obsessed with these varieties. Off-center strikes. Double dies. Clipped planchets. Full steps variety. And even nickels struck on the wrong metal planchets. These minting mistakes are what transform a 5-cent coin into a 5-figure payday. Let's dive into the rarest and most valuable types of 1990 D. Jefferson nickel errors. Magnifying glass tilted left 1. Full steps variety, $1,000 to $4,000 plus. This variety occurs when the details on Monticello's steps are fully struck, with no weakness or blur. Finding a 1990 D nickel with full, sharp steps is incredibly difficult. Coins graded MS66 and above with full steps designation can fetch $1,000 to $4,000 or more at auction. A PCGS graded 1990 D MS66 FS sold for nearly $3,500. Why so valuable? Because full steps indicate a strong strike and exceptional quality, and that's rare for this year. Hammer and pick 2. Double die obverse, DDO, $5,000 plus. A true double die error will show doubling in Jefferson's eye, nose, or the lettering like, In God We Trust, or Liberty. A genuine DDO on a 1990 D nickel in high mint state condition could be worth $3,000 to $5,000 plus depending on visibility and grade. These are rare and not often found, so even a moderate example can pull in big collector interest. 3. Off-center strikes, $500 to $2,000 plus. An off-center error happens when the blank planchet isn't properly aligned in the coining press. A 1990 D Jefferson nickel struck 10 to 50% off-center and still showing the date and mint mark could sell for $1,000 to $2,000 or more, especially in uncirculated condition. These coins are very eye-catching and command high premiums at auction. Axe 4. Clipped planchet errors, $250 to $1,500 plus. A clipped planchet error occurs when part of the metal blank is accidentally cut away during minting. These coins show a distinctive bite or curved clip. A well-centered, clear 1990 D-clipped planchet nickel can go for $250 to $1,500, especially if it's a double clip or retains luster. Gold medal 5. Wrong planchet errors, $10,000 plus. Now here's the jackpot. In very rare cases, coins are struck on the wrong metal, like a dime planchet or even a foreign coin blank. These are freak minting accidents and can be worth $5,000 to $10,000 or more. One known example of a Jefferson nickel struck on a cent planchet sold for over $12,000 at auction. If a 1990 D nickel was accidentally struck on a silver dime planchet, you're looking at a potential $15,000 plus coin. Check 4. Thinner or lighter weight. Off-metal color, silver instead of nickel/copper. Missing details around the rim. Coin grading is key when determining value. A 1990 D Jefferson nickel with a rare error in circulated condition might be worth a few $100s. Uncirculated, MS65 plus, condition. You're easily looking at thousands. Get your coin authenticated and graded by PCGS or NGC. This gives it credibility, and collectors pay a premium for certified rarities. How can you find a valuable 1990 D nickel? White heavy checkmark search coin rolls, bank rolls are full of hidden gems. White heavy checkmark look for sharp Monticello steps, you may have a full steps variety. White heavy checkmark use a magnifier, errors like doubling or off-center strikes are easy to miss. White heavy checkmark weigh your coins, if the weight is off, you might have a wrong planchet. Don't underestimate the power of pocket change. The next big discovery could be in your own coin jar right now. Party popper. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946, following the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had become a national hero due to his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and his fight against polio. This 10-cent piece was designed by John R. Sinek, featuring Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse, and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. But by 1965, the U.S. Mint made a major change. They stopped producing dimes in 90% silver due to rising metal costs. And in 1966, something strange happened. Most people think 1966 dimes are common, just another clad coin in circulation. But here's the thing. The 1966 dime has a dark side. A secret. And that secret lies in its rarest errors and mistrikes. Here's why the 1966 dime is so special. No mint marks. From 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint removed mint marks to deter coin hoarding. So every 1966 dime appears to have no mint mark, even though it was produced at multiple mints. Transition period chaos. The mint was still adjusting from silver to clad planchets, and that chaos led to some major minting mistakes. Off-metal errors, die-cap errors, and full torch varieties have all been discovered in 1966 dimes, and some of them are insanely valuable. Let's go over the top 5 rare error types found on 1966 dimes that can turn your pocket change into a fortune. Magnifying glass tilted left 1. 1966 dime struck on a silver planchet, $10,000 to $150,000 plus. Warning: this is the holy grail of 1966 dimes. During the transition from silver to clad, a few leftover silver planchets were accidentally used to strike 1966 dimes. These are extremely rare. White heavy checkmark: a 1966 dime on a 90% silver planchet weighs around 2.5 grams, compared to 2.27 g for normal clad dimes. Money bag: one known example sold for $12,000, and some experts estimate pristine specimens could hit $100,000 plus. Key tip: use a digital scale. If your 1966 dime is heavier than normal, you may be holding a silver strike error worth 6 figures. Repeat button 2. Double die obverse, DDO, or reverse, $1,000 to $15,000 plus. In a true double die error, the design elements are duplicated due to a misalignment during die creation. Look closely at "In God We Trust." Liberty. The date: 1966. If you see clear doubling, especially on a high-grade coin, you could be looking at $5,000 to $15,000 plus depending on sharpness and condition. Hammer and pick 3. Mistruck or off-center errors, $500 to $3,000 plus. Off-center strikes are eye-catching and rare, especially in dimes where space is limited. Money bag: a 1966 dime struck 10% to 50% off-center, while still showing the date, can easily command $1,000 to $3,000 plus at auction, especially in uncirculated condition. Axe 4. Clipped planchet errors, $250 to $2,500 plus. In this error, part of the coin is clipped due to a mistake during planchet cutting. Clean, curved clips with full dates are rare and collectible. Double or ragged clips from 1966 can sell for $500 to $2,500 or more. Counterclockwise arrows 5. Die cap or multiple strike errors, $2,000 to $10,000 plus. A die cap error occurs when a coin gets stuck to the die and repeatedly strikes other coins, creating a bizarre mushroom-like effect. These are visually dramatic, and collectors love them. Money bag: in recent years, a 1966 Roosevelt dime with a full die cap sold for over $6,000, and similar ones have brought $10,000 plus in pristine shape. If you suspect you have a rare 1966 dime, weigh it heavy check mark. Check for doubling with a jeweler's loop or microscope heavy check mark. Examine for off-center or clipped edges heavy check mark. Then, get it graded by PCGS or NGC. This adds authentication and skyrockets your coin's value. Green circle: a raw error dime might fetch a few hundred. Blue circle but a graded MS65 plus or mint state full torch error. Easily thousands to tens of thousands. Here are some real-world auction results to blow your mind. Silver 1966 dime error, sold for $12,075. DDO 1966 in MS66, sold for $5,250. Die cap error, sold for $8,900. Clipped planchet in mint state, sold for $1,700. These aren't fantasy prices, these are real sales from places like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and eBay's rare coin market. Magnifying glass tilted right: here's how you can go treasure hunting for the 1966 dime. Check every 1966 dime you come across. Weigh them, anything heavier than 2.27 g could be silver. Roll hunt: buy dime rolls from the bank and search for gems. Look for full bands/full torch details. Invest in a high-quality loop, you need to see tiny details.